Welcome back here as we are still learning how to write some code in MATLAB. In the last video we did the compare USA where we compared the USA gas prices. Let's just run it so we see what we made. Compare USA. It's going to ask me, so we programmed it to initially ask which country do you want to compare with the USA, and it must be entered as a string. Let's say Mexico. And so the Mexico gas prices were higher than USA gas prices in the years. And there's the years. And the first statement says for 13 years. So the USA prices were higher than Mexico prices for the other 6 years. Now and we could do that with it. We could run compare USA again. And we could compare with France. And we see France gas prices were higher for all 19 years. Now what I want to do is make life a little easier and create a code that when I run it, that I can compare the USA gas prices with all of the gas prices without doing anything other than running the code. Okay? So let's click on the new script here, and we could edit the other one, but let's just jump in this one and do an entirely new one. So the first thing I want to do, as in the other one, is pull the country names. Pull country names from our text data file, our text data variable, and it was in the 5th row and then the columns to end. And if you open up, as long as you've done what I've done and you open up that text data, you will see what that's going to do. Okay, so and then we're going to use our country name, USA. Press that, and then what I want to find is column to compare, and that's going to give me the string compare USA from country names, and that's going to go into this variable we just created, country names, and figure out where USA is. And then we want to actually get the index, find column compare. So that's going to actually give me the column number. When I do the string compare USA, remember that's going to give me a whole big list of zeros and ones, and it's going to be a 1 where the USA is located. And then when I do find column compare, it's going to actually give me that index number. So it's going to say that for the USA it's going to be number 10. So that would be a 10. Now let's get country data equals from our prices variable, and we want all rows from that index there. Okay, and now so we've got our USA data, and now what I want to do is compare that to every other country. So that's going to require a for loop. For I equals 1 to, and it'd be 1 to 10, but just for training purposes here, let's say length of country names. That is, I don't actually have to know how many is in it. All I have to know is where it's pulling from, and it's pulling from country names up here. And so I just say 1 to the length of country names. And so I want to say the other country name equals from country names I. Other country data. And note again, I'm just naming these variables at my convenience. Other country data, and that's going to be prices, all rows, column I. So in our prices variable, it's going to be all rows with the ith column. And And now we're ready. We have the data for the USA process, and we have the data for the other country process, and now we're ready to print it out. Fprint F, I say %s. That's going to hold a variable for a string is bigger than %s. Again, hold another variable for a string, and we'll put those variables in at the end. In the years, \n gives me a new line, and now that first string variable is going to be USA, which is going to be where from country name, and then the other string variable is going to be the other country name. Other country name, and that's all we need there. Yes, and then we want to display from our years variable years that country data is bigger than other country data. So this is going to give us all the years that the United States gas prices were higher than the other country that it picks as I goes from 1 to the length of country names. And then we need to end the for loop. And let's see if this works. Oops, we gotta save it first. Good, so let's call this compare USA all. Oh, nice. Okay, it worked out. So, no, it didn't. USA is bigger than the USA in all the years. So what happened there? So that means when I did, let's go back and look at it here. So display years, so fprintf country name and then %s other country name. So country name will go up here as USA. Other country names, oh, see that S there? Other country names. Let's run it now and see what happens. What's the problem here? So let's run this thing again. See what happens. I've got an error. The error says F input function not defined for cell inputs. So I know country name is a string. So what it's saying is where I have these %s and %s, that's for a string. And I know my country name, if you look at country name up here, I define that as a string. And so what the problem is has to be the other country name is not a string. Other country name equals country names I. Okay, so that's going to pull from country names. Oh, I think I know what we need to do. This is going to be a cell because of the parentheses here. If we change this, when we want a string, we use the brackets. And let's see if that's going to work. Okay, good. So here we see that the USA gas prices were in those 19 years have never been bigger than Australia gas prices, the Canada gas prices, the USA gas prices. So the only country in the years 1990 to 2008 that had gas prices less than the USA was Mexico. That's in 90, 95, 2005, 2006, 2007, and 2008. And maybe what you might want to try at home is write another code such that you can input, that's not just written for USA, such that the first thing that pops up is that it will say, which country do you want to compare with all other countries? And then you input the country, and then it will compare any given country that you give it to all of the other countries, just like this. That would be a good homework problem. Let me know if you run into any issues.